Hello everyone and welcome to another review episode from GadMode, and today we have the very own Honor 6X, which is the latest offering from the Honor company, and it's a sub-brand of Huawei. And today we will be doing an in-depth review of the same. So this phone, as we had done an unboxing earlier, was released in the recent week, and it was available through flash sale. And coming to the build and design of this phone, and the overall build and design looks magnificent, especially the screen, which is a 5.5-inch IPS LCD display with 16 million colors, and the resolution is above, means full HD resolution and 403 ppi. So I would say that the screen is overall very good to look at. And coming to the body, it's a metal unibody construction. The touch and feel of it is very much comfortable when you hold it in one hand. It looks much more premium when it is compared to the previous version, which is the Honor 5X. Now, as you can see here, the build finishing quality of the back panel of the phone is very much smooth with these curved edges and all. And coming to the sides, you can see this power volume rocker and the power button, which again is made up of metal. Now this is another commendable feature when it comes to design, because the company is using metal to build its switches instead of plastic. And also you can see here this camera and the fingerprint sensor is in a separate column with lines carrying across the boundary of the camera. And on top we have the 3.5 mm jack and the noise cancellation port. And as I said earlier, the edges are beautifully crafted and it looks way more premium than its previous version. The impressive 2.5D curved display is very much visible when you look at it from the sides. So in a nutshell, the design and build quality is very much impressive. Now coming to the next feature of the phone, which is the software and the user interface. This phone runs on the Emotion UI like all other Honor phones. The version of Emotion UI that is running on this phone is 4.1, that is based on Android 6.0. Now if you ask me what exactly is the specialty of the Emotion UI, I'll tell you this is the very much same version that we saw on the Honor 8. And by any chance, if you have failed to notice, there are no capacitive buttons on the phone itself. So the reason being that these buttons are on the screen, which are pretty much customizable. Like you can replace it with any other direction you want it to be. And now coming to the notifications panel, it is just divided into 3 lines, which is again customizable according to our wish. And this is the brightness level bar, where we can adjust the brightness of the screen as per our needs and the prevailing environment in which the phone is operated. Again, we have this auto mode where the phone will adjust its own brightness. Now coming to the settings, we'll have a look at the about phone feature, where we'll get all the details of the phone and everything that is related to the hardware and the software of the phone. Now when we go to the about phone, what we can see here is the IMEI number, RAM, phone storage, resolution and everything. So again, we have other features and settings also, which is like the smart assistants, wherein we can do a motion control of the phone. For example, if you have to put the phone to silent when you receive a call, and that's when we use this feature, which means you will have to basically flip the mobile downwards to make it to silent. Now coming to the next feature that is available is the one hand user interface, wherein you will be getting 2 options of mini screen view and the shift keyboard. The mini screen view can be activated by a small swipe along the bottom part of the screen where you have your buttons, and the same can be done to come back to normal mode. So this will actually help you reduce the size of the screen and use it in a minimalistic way, where you actually feel the comfort of it when you're using it in one hand. Same is the part with when it comes to the shifting of keyboard. So here you can actually shift the numerical keypad of the dialer screen to either side, which suits your preference. So if you look at the practical aspect of it, it is very much handy when you are holding the phone in one hand and trying to dial a number. Now see, it only works for the dial pad keyboard, and it should have been applicable to the normal typing keypad also. Next in the list of features comes the lock screen toggles. The lock screen toggles are those shortcut features that are accessible with just one upward swipe when your phone is in a lock state. And here we have the lock screen toggles, which are very much useful when the phone is in lock state. For example, the calculator is there, the camera, the flashlight, all these are very much important features. Now coming to the fingerprint and security options of the phone, I must say this phone has got a vast amount of features that are functional when it comes to the fingerprint sensor. This is very much more in number when you compare it to the other devices of the same price range. For example, you can actually answer a call or take a photo or video using the fingerprint sensor. So that's a pretty good feature of the company, giving so many options along with the fingerprint sensor. Now let's have a practical look of it. So the setting up of the fingerprint is pretty much easy, and when compared to the fingerprint sensors that are on the front of the other devices. And I must say the fingerprint sensor is pretty much responsive also, because it just unlocks in flash of a second, as you can see here, and there is no absolute delay at all. So I must say the fingerprint sensor works in the most precise way possible, because you can see for yourself. Just look at the speed at which the screen is unlocking, and you can judge for yourself the speed and the accuracy of the fingerprint sensor. So it's a pretty good thing that Honor has come up with the improvisations in the fingerprint sensor when you compare it to the previous version. And one thing is for sure, that you won't be disappointed with the performance of the fingerprint sensor, because in many cases we have seen the users getting disappointed because the fingerprint is not working properly and all. So now let's have a look at the practical aspect of the fingerprint sensor. The first one that will be tested on is the notification panel. So how exactly is the notification panel linked with the fingerprint sensor? Has it ever happened that at some point of time you would have thought that it is a pain in the ass to swipe down the screen to have a look at the notification panel, and you were just wishing that there would be something to replace that? Well, this is the ultimate solution to that. You can just have a swipe on the fingerprint sensor from top to bottom, and you will have the notifications in front of you. And next feature that the fingerprint sensor comes up with is the touch to capture option. Actually, you can touch the fingerprint sensor to capture certain photos, and you can use the same fingerprint sensor to swipe from left to right to do a slideshow view of all the photos that you have clicked with the camera. Now this is something that makes the fingerprint sensor much more user friendly. Well, I must say this is going to make your life much more easier if you are an exclusive single-handed telephone user. Now coming to the next feature of the phone is the dual camera performance. So today we will be testing the performance of the camera, and first of all we will navigate through the different modes of the camera, wherein we can see the different modes that are available in the camera application, such as HDR, night mode, the pro video mode, pro photo mode, beauty mode, time lapse, and all number of extra features that will actually facilitate your photography skills. Now you also have a long list of filters that you can apply on your photos that you're going to take. So this is something common in almost all the mobile camera applications. And as we know, the configuration of the camera that the 6X carries, it has a dual 12 by 2 megapixel rear sensing, promising a focal length of 0.95 to focal length of 16 aperture range, a face detection autofocus, a 0.3 fast shutter, and an enlarged 1.25 millimeter pixels for improved low light performance over its single sensor predecessor. So these technical aspects are going to confuse you. So to filter it down in a much more simpler way, I'll just say shooting in automatic and well lit conditions are very much easy. I mean, there is no noticeable lag versus the more premium handsets from the same company like the Honor 8. But for a phone of its class, the snappers feel perfect. It's very much snappy when you compare it to the other devices also in the same price range, and there is a competent level of fine detail in the image too. So along with these, when you throw the manual control into the mix, this lets you counter some of the shortcomings of the phone's natural low light performance. And this is a part where you can actually take control of the areas in your photograph which you need to focus upon. So all in all, while the Honor 6X specialized camera hardware is perhaps the most impressive one to look at than to actually use, let me tell you something, this phone can still deliver a competent mobile photographic experience. So what you cannot expect from this is a flagship class image and video output, but despite the added care that has been put in by the Honor company in giving this phone its snapper, you can actually expect an average performance from the dual camera. And where it really excels in with regards to the range of shooting options available is the amount of control before and after capture, and that is the fact that it's all wrapped up in a good looking smartphone that will cost you under 15,000 rupees. And when you look at the price tag, what you get is much more impressive. So that was our detailed review of the Honor's latest offering, the Honor 6X. Do like the video, share the video, subscribe to our channel, and do not forget to press the bell button below the subscribe button, or it might be somewhere just beside the subscribe button, depends upon the carrier what you are using. And do subscribe to our channel for much more interesting videos like these.